Safest country in case of nuclear war. In this video, I cover 10 of the safest countries in the world in case of a nuclear war. However, I strongly recommend that you visit our site and read the full article where I list all 20 safest countries worldwide and explain all the reasons why they are the safest in case of such a horrific event. Enjoy our video. When it comes to global disasters, few things are more terrifying than the prospect of nuclear war. The devastation wrought by even a single atomic bomb is unparalleled, and the thought of an all-out nuclear conflict is enough to send anyone running for cover. Fortunately, there are still some places on Earth that would be relatively safe in the event of a nuclear war. These countries have either developed extensive anti-nuclear capabilities or are geographically isolated enough that they would be unlikely targets for a nuclear strike. Number 1. Iceland. Iceland is a small island country located in the North Atlantic Ocean, with a population of just over 300,000 people and an area of 103,000 square kilometers. Iceland is one of the safest countries in case of nuclear war due to its isolation, lack of military, and geothermal energy. Because Iceland is isolated from the rest of the world by the North Atlantic Ocean, it will be very difficult for a nuclear missile to reach Iceland without being detected first. Even if a nuclear missile did manage to reach Iceland, there wouldn't be much damage because of the small population and size of the country. Iceland doesn't have a standing army or any other military force. This means that there would be no one to target with a nuclear weapon. The only people who would be at risk are those working in vital infrastructure such as power plants or airports. However, even these workers could take shelter on the ground where they would be safe from radiation exposure. Finally, Iceland generates all of its electricity from geothermal sources. This means that even if the entire electrical grid went down, Iceland would still have power thanks to its natural hot springs. Number 2. Canada. Canada is definitely one of the leading candidates to survive a nuclear war. First and foremost, Canada has a very strong military alliance with the United States through NORAD. In fact, two countries have such a close relationship, they often coordinate their military exercises. This means that if one country were to be attacked by a nuclear weapon, the other would most likely come to its aid. Furthermore, Canada has a large landmass and population spread out over a wide area. This makes it less likely that a single nuclear strike could wipe out the entire country. Additionally, many parts of Canada are relatively remote and sparsely populated, which would also help reduce casualties in the event of an attack. It's also worth noting that Canada has some experience dealing with nuclear accidents, but thanks to quick action by authorities and military forces, there were no deaths or long-term health effects reported in Canada as a result. Number 3. Australia. Australia is often cited as a top candidate for the safest country in case of nuclear war. Australia is a vast empty continent with few major population centers. It would be very difficult for an enemy to target all of Australia in a nuclear attack, and even if they did, sparse population means that there would be relatively few casualties. In addition, Australia has a strong military alliance with the United States, which would provide additional protection in time of a nuclear war. The US has a large arsenal of nuclear weapons. It's unlikely that any adversary would risk attacking Australia knowing that they would face such a formidable opponent. As a nation, Australia also has a lot of resilience and experience in recuperating from a nationwide disaster, such as the infamous bushfires. All in all, this strong country can face and overcome even a nuclear warfare. Number 4. Norway. Norway is one of the safest European countries when it comes to nuclear war. In fact, Norway was ranked in 2021 by Global Peace Index as the 14th most peaceful country in the world. There are a number of reasons why Norway is such a safe place to be during a nuclear war. First, Norway has a very small population compared to other countries. This means that there would be fewer people affected if there were a nuclear attack on Norwegian soil. Second, Norway is geographically isolated from other countries to some degree. The isolation makes it less likely that Norway would be caught up in a regional conflict that could lead to nuclear war. Finally, Norway is a member of NATO and has close ties to the United States. These relationships help to ensure that Norway would have access to military support if it happens to be attacked. Number 5. Cambodia. Cambodia has been through a lot in recent history. From the Vietnam War to the Khmer Rouge regime, the country has seen its share of conflict. But today, Cambodia is at peace and it's one of the most secure countries on the planet. That's why, when we were looking for the safest countries, Cambodia was on our list. Here are some of the factors in its favor. 1. There are no nuclear weapons in Cambodia. 2. The country is not involved in international conflicts. 3. Cambodians are some of the most hospitable people in the world. You'll be welcomed with open arms if you sought refuge here during a time of crisis. 4. The countryside is beautiful. There will be plenty of food and water to go around if you had to live off the land here. Number 6. Maldives. Maldives is an archipelago of 26 atolls with over 1,000 individual islands. The Maldives are located in the Indian Ocean, south of India and Sri Lanka. Maldives is often hailed as one of the best locations in case of an apocalyptic event. The reason is not surprising. This small island nation is in the middle of the ocean, far away from any potential targets. Plus, with an average elevation of just 1.5 meters above sea level, the Maldives would be virtually unaffected by a nuclear blast. But what makes the Maldives even more appealing as a safe haven is political stability. Unlike many other countries in the world, there has never been a military coup or civil war in Maldives' history. This makes it one of the most peaceful countries on earth and an ideal place to survive a nuclear war. Number 7. South Korea. South Korea is often cited as one of the top countries to live in, but can't be safe enough during a nuclear warfare. After all, it shares a border with an extremely hostile neighbor, North Korea, who is known for its nuclear threats. Let's have a look at what South Korea has to offer in terms of nuclear safety. 1. Strong economy. South Korea has the 10th largest economy in the world and is projected to be the 7th largest by 2030. It's also home to some of the most successful companies in the world, including Samsung, Hyundai, and LG. 2. Robust military. South Korea has one of the strongest militaries in Asia, with over 630,000 active personnel. The country also spends a significant amount on defense, nearly $15 billion per year. 3. Proximity to North Korea. Strangely enough, this can actually make South Korea a safe country. Unless North Korea wishes to destroy itself as well, they will hesitate to detonate a nuclear bomb only a few dozen kilometers from their own border. Number 8. Nepal. Nepal is often considered as one of the most protected Asian countries. This might be unexpected given its location between two giant nuclear powers, India and China. But just like in the case of South Korea or North Korea, none of Nepal's neighbors would want to drop a bomb on their own doorstep. Besides its geographical advantages, Nepal is also home to some of the world's tallest mountains, which would provide natural protection from any radiation or fallout. You can say it's perfectly isolated, like an island nation, even though it's completely landlocked. Nepal is also largely rural, with a small population density, meaning there would be less chance of widespread contamination. Number 9. Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka is an island nation located in the Indian Ocean off the southeastern coast of India. The country has a long history dating back over 2,000 years and is home to a rich culture and diverse landscape. Sri Lanka is a popular tourist destination known for its beautiful beaches, lush jungles, and ancient ruins. So why is Sri Lanka so safe? For starters, it's far from any potential targets for a nuclear attack. Additionally, Sri Lanka has a small population, just over 20 million, and limited infrastructure, which would make it difficult for an attacker to cause widespread damage. Finally, the government has strict controls on access to weapons and explosives, making it unlikely that terrorists or other groups could get their hands on nuclear materials. Number 10. Japan. There are a lot of reasons why Japan is often cited as one of the top candidates for safest country during a nuclear conflict, despite its past. For starters, Japan is one of the few countries in the world with a no first use policy when it comes to nuclear weapons. This means that Japan would only use nuclear weapons if another country attacked them first with nuclear weapons. In addition, Japan has a very strong anti-nuclear proliferation stance. They are members of both the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons and the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, and they have signed and ratified both treaties. Finally, Japan has a very robust civil defense system. In fact, they even have an annual National Disaster Prevention Day where people all over the country practice evacuation drills and learn about what to do in case of various disasters, including nuclear attacks. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed our video, please like it and subscribe to support our channel. For the full article and more information about off-grid living, survival, camping, and much more, please visit our site and enjoy our articles on these and other topics. Have a wonderful day.